How's it going, everyone? It's Johnny Beard here, and welcome to another episode of the Streamer Stories podcast. And it's my absolute pleasure to introduce to you LonelySharkMelb. Here he is.
Hoi.
How you doing? You doing all right?
Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm good.
Oh.
It's morning, so I'm very tired, but it's okay. We got to make this work, and I'm excited to be here.
Thank you so much, man. And I must say, I don't know if you, I don't think you know this, but you're actually my first person that I've had here from Australia. So.
No way.
Yeah. It's and well, very.
You can just. That's all you need from this country. It's just me.
There we go. We got it.
I'm joking. I'm not like that. Not who I am.
No, that's not at all. Do you want to introduce who you truly are, though? Do you want to introduce yourself and plug yourself a bit?
Sure. I'm LonelySharkMelb, as known on Twitch, or just LonelyShark. Or if we're friends and you follow me and I say hi, just Shark. I'm a variety horror streamer from Melbourne, Australia, and I play all sorts of games of the horror variety. And I feel like, you know, a lot of what the channel is based on is based upon what the community makes it as well. Like a lot of the trademarks in there, like the Homer scream. When I get really scared, I basically do sound like Homer Simpson. I didn't know that was a thing until it was pointed out to me, and now it's one of the biggest memes on the channel. So, you know, it's a good time. It's like, I feel like it's a home for a lot of people that love horror or like love horror games, but they just can't play them themselves, and we can play it together. So, who knows where it's going to evolve from there? But live content is an evolving beast, and you just got to roll with it.
100%. I couldn't say that any better. That's you to a T, mate. That's spot on. Awesome. Yes. But that's you now. So what was things like? What's the first memories you have of playing games or seeing games for the first time?
I remember like being. I don't know how old I was. I was living in Adelaide at the time with my half brother and half sister. So I would have been young, but like I don't think I was at like primary school yet or anything like that. So. I don't know, maybe 4 or 3. Who knows? You know, that time's it's just bits and pieces all cut together. So I just remember my brother and sister playing Super Mario Brothers,
Nice.
maybe 3 or 1 or 2. Maybe it was All Stars. Who knows? Anyway, it was the Super Nintendo. I think I was watching it on, and I just remember like watching it and just kind of like. I don't know if it was the first time I'd seen a video game, but it was just kind of like really interesting to me. And I'm pretty sure they did that thing where they gave me a controller to pretend to play. But
yeah,
I can't confirm or deny, but that was like the first time. And it's weird that like I have vivid memories of that. Well, it's not weird, but it's weird. You know what I mean? Like that must be the first time because I remember it.
Yeah. So were you in your family then in terms of age? Were you youngest?
Yeah, I was youngest. I don't really, you know, talk to my half brother and half sister that much. They live in Adelaide and stuff. They have their own lives. Because I'm 33 now, so they old. They're much older. Because they were like at least in their teens when I was that age. So
yeah,
they got families. They got, you know, all that stuff. So yeah. But it's weird. The age gap. It's weird because I don't picture them as being like, you know, in their 40s or anything like that because that's kind of weird. Because in my mind, it's always like they were just the cool older like teens.
Yeah, 100%. No, that's cool. That's cool. And the controller thing, I did that with my younger brother. He was 9 years younger than me. Played Tekken on my own. So yeah, definitely did that.
Helping.
Yeah,
you're helping.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're doing this together. Honest.
And then actually, I think I remember when they actually let me play for real, and I just died instantly. And I was like, oh my god, this shit's hard.
Yeah,
hard.
Awesome. So the SNES was your first experience. So that was maybe watching / experiencing this. So what about playing then properly? Then what was the first like? What comes to mind?
I really, really wanted a game. Like, I really, really wanted, like, a console. Like, I'd beg my mum for it. But we weren't, like, you know, we were just sort of, like, we weren't, like, what am I trying to say? We weren't, like, super rich. We were, like, not. We were poor. Yeah. I was trying to find a like polite way to say it, but I was like, you know what, it's my life, and yeah, we were poor. Um, so it was really hard to like get stuff like that. And then I really, really wanted one to the point where this is kind of embarrassing to say, but I have said it on stream, so it's fine. But I ended up cutting out, like, I made a paper Super Nintendo. I made a Super Nintendo out of paper.
Oh, wow.
And, like, made the cartridges and made the controller and made a little skinny, like, cable. And, like, I would pretend to play, like, Mario Kart, like, in my room. And pretend to plug it into the TV and just watch a blank TV and pretend to play. And my mum thought I was really weird. She made me throw it out. But in the end, we ended up getting a Super Nintendo, which had like Super Mario All Stars. So that was like the first experience. And yeah, that was cool. I remember like I was staying at my nan's when I knew it was at my house, and my nan lived in Werribee. Sorry, this is for context. Werribee's like 40 minutes from like the city of Melbourne.
Okay.
And so, you know, that drive from my nan's to home, knowing there was a Super Nintendo waiting, and like as a kid, a 40-minute drive is an eternity.
Right, yeah, right.
And it's all I could think about.
Yeah, that's awesome. But no, there's nothing embarrassing about that at all. About like, you know, that shows your obsession and how much it meant to you straight away, even at that young age, how much it meant to have a console or to play games, man. So I think that's a great story.
I guess so. It's a weird one, that's for sure.
And yeah, I mean, I've mentioned it in my streamer story about myself. I mean, I was always behind. My family was skint. We were a poor family, and we were always like a console behind for many years. So because we just couldn't afford the newer stuff. So but I mean, back then as well, at least like the consoles had such a huge lifespan anyway. Like most new consoles would come out, they were so expensive, but then like there was such a back library of games on the other consoles anyway that was still being released that it wasn't a big deal. True. So any of SNES games that come to mind? All Stars?
Super Mario All Stars, Mario Kart. I used to rent a lot from the video store. You know what I mean? So I'd go and stay at my nan's for like a weekend. And like we'd go to the store and like rent a game. So like, you know, games like Mario Kart or like because we couldn't really afford to buy actual games. Really, really weird games come to mind. Like I think Crash Dummies. I think like there's another one. The Blues Brothers. Like almost like some of these games that wouldn't even be considered like classics, but like.
The Blues Brothers had a game. Hold the phone. What? The Blues Brothers had a game?
Yeah.
I've never heard of this.
And I remember I played the Blues Brothers game, and then like a few months later, we went to like a dinner party, like family friends dinner party, and being a kid, the only kid there, I just like shuffle through people's videos, you know what I mean? Because I love movies, and I was just going through it, and then I found like the Blues Brothers, and I'm like, oh my god, it's just like that game that I played. I didn't know it was a movie. And I like asked if I could please watch it, even though it was rated M. I was like, "Can I watch it?" Because I played the game, so I'd like to watch the movie. And they said that I could, and that was like the first time I watched the Blues Brothers, and I was like obsessed. It became like my favorite movie. And there was part of me that felt like it was a big change for me too, because like as a kid, like you look at adult content as something that's just like really, really boring. And it was like one of the first bit of adult content I watched as a kid where I was like, wow, like adult stuff is actually like really, really good.
Yeah, true.
I just became obsessed with the Blues Brothers from that point on.
That's amazing. I never knew they had a game. Never knew they had a game. It's only come to my.
It's not good.
I was going to say I can't imagine it being good, but
even when I played it, like as a kid, like everything's good when you're a kid.
Yeah.
I was like, it's not very good. You throw like records at things, and it's a platformer. It's really bad.
I only recently. Sorry,
go on.
I was going to say I only recently discovered that there was a Wayne's World Sega Mega Drive game, Sega Genesis Mega Drive. I was like, what? There's so many movie tie-in games.
It's crazy how many like licensed games there were during that time. But I remember like whatever game I'd rent from the store that week, I would take the manual into like school for show and tell and be like, so I got this game, this is the manual, it's pretty cool. can play as Jake or Elwood. I played as Jake because my name's Jake, and like, you know, he doesn't jump as high as Elwood, but I think he's slightly faster.
Yes, I've had those conversations so many times, and you get people like, okay, yeah, what? It's so true.
Like that. Yeah,
it's so true. All right, so the SNES, where did it go from there?
Had the SNES for a while, and then there was like a turning point where like it was PlayStation or Nintendo 64. Like you were either had a Nintendo 64 or you were a PlayStation kid, right? And this was, I think, like this was before like you could have a Nintendo, but it wouldn't be like considered like. This is before Nintendo were in their own league. You know what I mean? It's like now you've either got a PlayStation or an Xbox, but everyone's got a freaking Switch. So, my mum, like my uncle played a lot of games as well. And my mum was like, I think we should get you a PlayStation because as you get older, it'll have more adult games than the Nintendo. And I was like, yes, you're probably right. So I think I ended up getting the PlayStation, but then I just remember being super sad that I couldn't play like GoldenEye, and like I've never played Banjo-Kazooie, and there's all these games that I've never played. I've still played some, but I've played tons of GoldenEye and Pokemon Stadium, but I mean, PlayStation was fine. I had Croc, I had Tekken 2.
Yeah.
I think that's when I played Resident Evil 2. So,
nice.
I mean, it was good.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because, yeah, you had a certain loyalty to Nintendo. Well, maybe not loyalty, but a certain like affection for it because, I suppose perhaps because you were playing those games before.
Well, I think it was more like you'd always go to like stay over at a friend's or do a sleepover, and they had the Nintendo 64, and you'd stay up all night playing GoldenEye or Pokemon Stadium or Mario Tennis or something like that. So they were like always like the really classics. Oh, Smash Brothers, going to a friend's house and just playing Smash Brothers all day and being like, this is mind blowing. Like they're from a different game and they're from a different game, but they're together. And I feel like I sort of skipped over the Game Boy Pocket. I did have a Game Boy Pocket with the Star Wars game, that little bundle that they did. And then Pokemon Red was crazy.
Pokemon.
I distinctly remember there was this kid at my school, and he had his Pokemon Red stolen in the same week I got Pokemon Red from the store. And I swear, I still feel like he thinks that I stole his game. But I didn't.
No.
But it's the things that you remember, right? Like,
yeah.
I just remember... Because I'm like, I would think the same thing.
Yeah.
Someone just stole my game, and now this kid that's wanted it for like ages now has it.
Yep.
Sus.
No, I understand that totally. Brilliant. So
I did one blue version though, but it was sold out. So
did you ever catch them all?
Yeah.
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 Did Pokemon
That's ticked off on my gaming list? I've beaten the Elite Four. I've got every Pokemon. Did I have Mew? Someone sent me Mew and I had to send it back. I think I've had everything. I had Missing Go. Missing Number.
Yeah.
I had it all.
Did you how many rumors did you believe about Mew? Because again, there was so many rumors back in my school in the UK.
I spent a whole save file trying to get to the truck behind the boat so I could use strength to push it to get Mew.
Yeah, that's the one I heard. Yeah.
Biggest lie. Oh my gosh.
But I mean, I heard about those rumors, believed them, and then was like, no. And then, as an adult, found out there was ways to get Mew. Some really weird glitchy. Yeah, there is. Yeah, it was something to do with. Oh God, there was it's near Viridian City, I think it is. There's a glitch you got to follow, basically. It'd be long-winded to explain, but yeah, there is actually a way to do it. It's through glitching. And I was like, what?
Yeah, okay. Wow.
Things you find out.
Always. Yeah. And then you had the link cable and stuff. It was good times. Digimon, good times.
Good times. Okay. So, so you went from PlayStation 1. Did you go sideways to the Nintendo 64 eventually, or did you go in a different direction?
I did a week or a month, or maybe longer, where I swapped consoles with a friend from school. Just as like not permanently, but like, hey, let's just swap consoles for a little while, which was cool, a cool thing to do.
That's really cool.
But then from there, like, I think I just kind of fell off gaming for a really, really long time. Like, I was in high school, I didn't really. I think I had a computer, but it was kind of shitty. And I just had like a cracked version of GTA San Andreas that I just modded and fucked around in, but it was never like anything serious. You know what I mean? I'd go into like an EB Games. I assume. Do you have an EB Games, or is it called like GameStop where you are? I don't know.
Yeah, I think we have. We used to have Blockbuster here.
Oh, okay. So it's like just like a video game shop where you buy games. They're very expensive, but I remember just on sale. Like there was a Jurassic Park builder, Jurassic Park 3 Park builder, and I was like, oh my god. I distinctly remember going up to the counter and like putting it on the counter, and the guy being like dinosaurs, and I was like, yes, so excited. So they're like, I didn't really like. I guess you could call me like mega casual on the gaming aspect at that point, like. The idea of owning like an Xbox, by this time it was like, we passed the Xbox, we had the PlayStation 2, never really had any of those. I did take my friend's old PlayStation 2 because he had a disc read error where you'd put the disc in, it just wouldn't read. And so his parents just went and bought him a new one. I'm like, oh, can I have that old one? I remember like opening it up and just jittering all the wires, plugging them in and out. And I ended up making it work, which was really cool.
That's awesome.
So I had like a PlayStation 2 for a little while that I just like jankly fixed. It wasn't even that bad. I guess someone knocked it and the cord came loose. So I was like, yes. And then the idea of getting a console just seemed so expensive to me. You know what I mean? So I was working at the cinema at the time, and then I just one day, like I was just like looking at like Xbox 360s. I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna get one. And I was dating like someone at JB at the time. JB Hi-Fi is like they sell records, they sell games, they sell movies, they sell hi-fi stuff, they sell everything electronic, basically. Sort of like, I guess, if you were in America, like a Best Buy sort of look kind of place.
Yeah.
And had a lot of friends there, and they were like, yeah, get the 360 because like it's got the best online experience. Like you got to pay for it, but there's a reason, because at this point, like PlayStation 3 PSN was kind of just like not anything great, really. So I did, and then I think that was like the turning point for me, where I just became obsessed with gaming again. And I played like, Alan Wake and all these like games, but I would always finish them and then return them and get like cash back to spend on a new game. But I'd always keep my favorite games, and one of those favorite games was just like Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead. So that was like a game changer for me, because I was like, wait, I can put this little headset, like this little thing on the side of my head, and I can talk to people in real time. We don't even have to be in the same game. I was like, whoa. Yeah. I think that's what changed it for me, was like this social aspect.
Yes. It seems
as
so.
An introvert.
Yeah. No. Left 4 Dead. Oh, what a game. Like, same in that respect. I wasn't, and still am to a point, not really a massive online gamer. But Left 4 Dead was just something else. It was just something else.
I think it really changed the idea of what like a game could be, and like the idea of multiplayer, and things it has a story, but they don't have to be like, it's not integral to the gameplay. I feel like it really added in a jump in, jump out aspect.
Yeah.
Other than like other games that are just like fighting games or something like that, where it's like, yeah, jump in, jump out, but it's like Left 4 Dead. You can join a random game halfway through.
Yeah.
And it's like telling a story still, but I never got into MMOs or any like of those big PC games like that. But Left 4 Dead, that just changed the game for me.
So who is your go-to? Who's your player of choice?
I like Francis because he had some sick tats.
Yes.
I like Zoe just because Zoe looked kind of cool. I liked Bill. Bill was just kind of annoying. Bill was always my last choice.
Yeah. I live.
Of course, that's the one they put in Dead by Daylight. But anyway.
Yeah. It's weird, that, wasn't it? But
I guess he's iconic.
But I mean, like, Francis had some brilliant lines. Like, did you see the
Yes.
"He hates everything" type of song that came out many years ago? The meme.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
Yeah. And I love the posters they made for that game, and I love that they did like essentially movie posters for each campaign.
Yeah.
I literally bought them all from the Valve website and framed them and had them in my room for so long. And I love the taglines, and I love, the taglines. It'd be like, curing the infection one bullet at a time.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Like, their flight just got delayed permanently.
Yeah.
Like, it was so cool. And then like the sequel came out, and the sequel was good, but it had a different vibe to it. I think like it didn't feel the same. It was much more south, which is fine, but I feel like it kind of lost like a lot of that like Hollywood aspect to it in a sense. And I ended up buying the posters for that as well, but they all came in weird, different size jank.
Oh, right.
Sizes. Like the carnival one was like a landscape one. And I'm like, this is hard to frame. It doesn't fit anything. But it was still a cool game, except it got butchered in Australia, so it was heavily censored because we didn't have an R18 rating at the time. So, you know, there would be no dismemberment on the zombies, which was like, I think, one of the selling points of the game in the sequel. And as soon as the bodies would be killed, they would fall to the ground and fade into nothing. So you couldn't have piles of zombies everywhere.
Strange.
Yeah, it sucked so much.
Yeah,
so I ordered my copy from New Zealand. And I don't know what it was, if the copy was from New Zealand, but it just could never seem to find games. So it kind of really, I don't know, it Left 4 Dead 2 and the Australian government just left a really like sour taste in my mouth at that point. I think the only time the censorship laws have really worked in favor of a game being better is for South Park Stick of Truth. Because there's a whole bit where Randy goes on to a spaceship and he's getting probed by the aliens, but it was deemed like too much for Australia because we didn't have an R rating. So they made a different version for Australia, the creators, where they had basically it went to happen, and then the screen would just change to a koala that was crying, and then like just a sentence that said, "Your government has deemed that this, you know, this cartoon that is doing it." It just basically made it out like this decision was so dumb to begin with.
Yeah.
But it's so funny reading it with this crying koala.
Yeah.
And to me, like that content was way more entertaining than just seeing like another cartoon figure getting probed. I don't know. It was funny.
Yeah.
They did it really well.
Lot to absorb there, because there's two things I wanted to mention there. But just quickly on South Park there, we had the censored version on console, but not on PC.
Really?
So we had a similar thing, because I played Stick of Truth on console, and we had the same thing, but not with koalas, obviously. I can't even remember what it was, but some British stereotype. Describing the scene, basically, line for line. This is what you're not allowed to see. It was brilliant. It was so good.
Okay, cool.
Yes,
cool.
So don't worry,
So
we got that one. But back to Left 4 Dead, I didn't know Valve had official posters, because I
buy them from the website.
I had the posters, but I use work software to download them, and laminated them using work funds.
Oh, nice.
So, hey, you know, so I had the posters technically as well. So,
I wonder if they like even still sell them.
I
probably not.
If I would have known, I probably would have bought them if they weren't too expensive. But I never knew that.
Too bad. I mean, if I bought them back in the day, they probably weren't that expensive, but they were pretty good quality. I feel like I've still got them somewhere.
Oh, that's so cool. No, I used to have them in my house. Yeah, I used to have them along the corridor, the really long, thin corridor. I used to have them it was so cool. Yeah. Good times.
Same. You know what? They still do have them.
That's so cool. I'm going to have to look at that. I might get them from the background. Sorry.
No, continue.
So, all right. So, if you are stuck on a remote island, on that island, you can have internet connection, etc., and you can only bring 3 games with you. What would the 3 games be, and why?
3? Oh my god. Okay.
You're stuck permanently on the island.
Stuck permanently. Okay. Assuming that I have an internet connection.
Yes.
Well, you know, at very least be able to play a game to its full capacity, including online.
Yes.
3 games. I can think of maybe like 2 so far. The third one will be a wild card. Number 1 would have to be Fortnite.
Okay.
Because I can't get sick of that game. Like, I am obsessed with Fortnite. Like, so obsessed with Fortnite. I don't play it on stream. I'm not a Fortnite streamer. If someone were to think of Fortnite, they would not think of me. But off stream, like, it's just so much fun. And like, just doing all the challenges and the storyline within Fortnite, and the reason why there's a battle royale, and the depth, and it's so smooth and it's so fun to play and it's so bright and so colorful, and I'm really fucking good at it. I feel like that's a game that like I would wake up every day in that island and be like, what are my new dailies? What do I need to do?
Yeah.
How can I get that next level? The second one, at the moment at least, would probably be like Path of Titans, which is just like a dinosaur MMO. They're actually an Australian dev company, which is cool. So I've been playing like that, and it's just, you know, living your life out as a dinosaur. So very time consuming. If I was stuck on an island, I think that would be a good one to take. And then lastly, I don't know, like I'd need something with a lot of replayability. I'm just trying to think like what games Dead by Daylight? I don't really play Dead by Daylight anymore, but maybe if I felt like being a little bit toxic, you know what I mean? So we've got Fortnite for the fun. We've got dinosaur MMO mode to pass the time and like relax. And then when we feel like being sassy and toxic, we can play DBD.
Yep.
There we go.
There we go.
Perfect.
Yeah. All free online games as well. Yeah, you should get a lot of longevity out of those.
Yes, and I think that's the thing. Like, I think you might have a question coming up regarding like solo and multiplayer, so I won't say anything yet.
No, you can say it. It flows, man. It flows. Let's chat about it.
Yeah, it's weird that you say that they're all multiplayer, because I think when I used to play like Xbox and stuff, like I used to just play story games, finish them and return them. But it just felt, these games are so expensive. And like, I'm at a point now where I feel like that playing a game solo just for story, like I get really depressed, I guess. Like I feel like I'm not doing anything. I feel like I'm being really like antisocial. Like I'm an introvert, but if I'm sitting at home playing a game, like that's like ×2 of just like isolating myself, and I don't need that. So I think it's really interesting that I generally just like to play multiplayer games. I've been playing Inscription as well. That's a really good game.
Yeah.
But like when I play it, I just feel like, oh, like, you know, I feel kind of lonely just playing this. I think it's more about just the experience of playing with friends. Like Rainbow Six, I'm obsessed with Rainbow Six, or at least I used to be, until Ubisoft screwed me over. And then that started my villain arc of becoming a world famous streamer so I can take Ubisoft down. But that's a whole other story.
Oh, wow.
I don't really play solo games anymore. I just can't.
No, that's fine.
It's hard. Like I cannot do an RPG. I could not play Skyrim. I could not play The Witcher. No, thinking about the amount of hours I need to put into that alone just makes it so unappealing for me.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely fine. Yeah, it's fascinating. I mean, it's really cool. That, I mean, because I'm a huge like RPG fan, but that's what I love about games. And it describes you to a T. Like you're a very community-based person. You're very multiplayer games, community people. Despite the introvertedness, you like that company and that, you know, interaction. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like at the end of the day, I could spend like 100 hours on an RPG and get to the end, but I wouldn't really feel accomplished. I just look back and been like, all that time I put into it, like, what do I have to show for it now? You know what I mean? What can maybe it's just something that like came with age or something, but I just feel like if I'm going to be doing things, I need to be doing things that are going to add value later on, or like I can be proud of something that I did, rather than just tell somebody, oh yeah, I beat The Witcher. You know what I mean? And someone's like, yeah, me too. It's like, oh, cool. I mean, I'm sure you can talk about it for hours or whatever, but to me, that doesn't interest me. I don't know.
Well,
I'm kind of, yeah.
Well, life would be boring, wouldn't it, if we all thought the same thing? That's the thing.
Yeah.
So, 100%.
Exactly.
Okay. So, I mean, are you someone that plays games for like achievements and trophies and stuff like that?
I used to, like back on Xbox 360 days, like, yeah, like I was addicted to that sound. That sound was crack. It'd be really hard to do, but also not anymore. Like I know Steam has achievements, but there's so many browsers. I mean, there's so many launches that like, it's almost like it doesn't really matter anymore. You've got the PC, but then you've got like 6 other launches to launch other games. Some have achievements, some don't. Achievement hunting feels so pointless now. That said, maybe if Steam had a system where it accumulated points, like your Xbox gamer tag accumulated a gamer score,
Yeah.
maybe I might be OCD about like trying to get as many achievements as possible. But I don't really care. No one's going to my profile and clicking on my achievements. You know what I mean? Back in the Xbox 360 days, people would go to your friend's profile and be like, "Oh, how many more achievements do I have in them in this game?" And be like, "Yes, I have like that achievement," and they don't. No one gives a shit anymore. You know?
It's true. No, it's true. And like you said, Xbox, they hit the nail on the head with it, really, because like even PlayStation didn't have the same vibe with it. The only thing I think PlayStation did over Xbox was the platinuming.
Yes.
Other than that, like even PlayStation kind of got the points accumulation aspect of it now. You get like more level ups or whatever.
It never had that, did it? It was just like you either did it or you didn't.
No, exactly. But no, you're right. You're right. I completely agree. So what games are you playing right now? You mentioned the dinosaur game, which I saw you. I was lurking when you were playing that the other day.
Yes.
So what else are you playing right now, offline and online?
Fortnite. I play Fortnite. Like I try to play as much as possible. I'm trying to grind at the moment because I really want the Spider-Man skin. I just love that the game changes like every few months. Like it's a completely different game. Like previous season, you could shake people down and they had certain weapons, and now we're in like this new season. You can't shake people down anymore, but now you can slide like in Apex Legends, and there's new mechanics. The map's changed. It's flipped upside down, but it's like a whole new thing. And to me, like, because after playing it, I only started playing it like at the start of this year or like later, and I got used to it. And then by the end of this year, I was like, oh, like it's coming a bit stale now. Like I'm a bit sick of the map, a bit sick of the weapons. And then boom, they just changed the whole game. Feels like a new game. I have new mechanics to learn, so I can respect that they can be like such a big game, but they're not afraid to just like change things up at the expense of people. But I think the fact that they do change things keeps things fresh, and that's why it's so popular. I used to be a Fortnite hater. I used to be like, fuck Fortnite. Didn't know anything about it really. I'm a shit builder, but you don't need to build. You know how you beat builders? Mind games. Beat the builders with the mind games, okay? So you can be a great builder, but if you don't have a great mind, I'm gonna murder you. I'm gonna murder you.
Oh, jeez.
I sound so up myself, but I just mean, you know, it's such a mind game.
Yeah.
Some people are like, I'll never play it because I just like the building aspect is just so hard, or like it's just too much. Like I don't build. For me, I intentionally don't build because then no one ever expects me in a spot where there's no buildings, you know. So, other than that, what else? Am I playing? I'm not really playing much. It's just either Fortnite or editing.
Yes.
All I do. Fortnite is my. I think it's healthy to have my streaming games and then like the game that I don't stream.
Yeah. Right. Again, I speak
Inscription.
to. Yeah.
Inscription's a great game. Oh my god. I don't even like card games. Like, you know, I've never played like Hearthstone. It's not that I don't like them. I've just never played them.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, why would I want to play a card game? Like, it's a video game. Why are we playing with cards? But then Inscription, I'm like, well, this game is pretty freaking good.
Have you played the other games by the developer of Inscription as well?
No. What? Maybe Digital Devolver.
I can't remember who it was now, but Pony Island. He made Pony Island. That was
played Pony Island.
Is it a horror kind of horror indie? It came back. Oh God, 2016, I think it came out. Well worth looking at. I'd say very good.
I like a lot of retro looking games too. So one of my favorite games as well is Hotline Miami. It's just such a good game. And the aspect that you can, I think that's the other thing. I think I've realized like I can't play games like Halo or stuff like that because if I can't just kill you instantly if I shoot you in the head, like what's the point? So when I play like Rainbow Six, like there's something about it that's like, you know, you can't just run around like an idiot because like you could just lose your life instantly. Like there's that aspect of, for me, that's a thrill. And then when you play Hotline Miami, it's like you can just get one shot, you're gone.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But the music, oh my god, the music,
excellent.
But like I tried playing like Splitgate. No, Splitgate you can headshot, but like some of the Halo games and stuff like that, where you just like pump like 10 bullets into a head, and I'm like, I don't know. I mean, that's like a casual mode or whatever, but I'm just kind of like, it just annoys me. I don't know what to say.
No. just changing direction. I mean, I haven't asked it yet. So, is there like an official worst game you've ever played? Is there anything that comes to mind?
You know, I was thinking about this a lot, and I think it's a really hard thing to say because I don't know whether a game is. I don't know whether a game is bad. I don't know if I have a game that I just like is the worst game I played because I'm just actively good at avoiding things that I know are going to be bad, or because it was so bad my brain just doesn't remember it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm trying to. There's honestly, see, no, I can't. Like,
It's a hard question.
Yeah, because like some of the bad games as well have their own things. I wouldn't call them like the worst game ever.
Yeah.
Let me worst game of all time. Let me see, just see.
That's cheating. That's cheating.
No. But I want to see if like if it triggers any memories. You know what I mean? If I look through it, like just looking through it now, like I don't think I've ever really played any of these. Just negative reception, you know. So I don't know. I mean, No Man's Sky, that's a great game now, apparently.
Apparently so.
Never really played it. I mean, I am seeing one on here that's for... Oh, okay, it's not on here, but I remember playing a game, and I don't know whether it's because I was young or because it was just a hard game to play. But Mario is Missing. Was interesting. I think as a kid, you know, you play Mario, you know what Mario is. You see a game called Mario is Missing, and then you start playing it, and you're like, what the fuck is this? And I'm not saying it's a bad game. And Paper Mario is a great game, but Mario is Missing? What was happening in that? My child brain was like, this isn't a Mario game.
Right? No, that's fine. I think...
Do you know that game?
I don't know it, no. I've never heard of it.
Oh,
heard of the Paper Marios.
Probably is a really bad game.
I mean, well, Mario's and everything. Dr. Mario, Tennis Mario, everything Mario.
Yeah, but they were good Marios.
Yeah, exactly. No, never heard of that. To be fair, do I want to look it up? I don't know.
Yeah, you do. It's weird.
Oh,
it's
okay.
Weird.
No problem.
See, I'll stick with that. Mario's Missing.
There we go.
Like that.
Done. So, what made you think about streaming then?
I got fast internet connection. I streamed before, like I streamed Hotline Miami 2, I think, like when I like years and years ago, but it was nothing, you know what I mean? Like just kind of like, oh, just give this a shot. Like I'm gonna play it anyway. I think I streamed that and like Battlefield 3. I was just streaming like on a really shitty camera. At least I had a camera, which was kind of cool, but it was just like a week, and I was like, it wasn't really working for me because I didn't have good internet. And then during the pandemic, in lockdown, I finally got like broadband. Like we had broadband, but we got like the fast broadband, like next level broadband. So I got like 50 down or whatever, like 25 up, which was enough to stream. So I was like, I was playing a lot of Dead by Daylight at the time with friends because we're all in lockdown, so we're just vibing.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I may as well stream it if I'm gonna play it anyway. So I did that. And then, the rest is history. But it's just kind of funny because now, like, when people ask advice on streaming, I'm always like, you know, just do it. Just go into it. But also I'm like, but if you want to take it, like, really seriously, don't go in just being like, oh, if I'm going to play the game, I may as well just stream it anyway. Because, like, then you're just playing a game, you know? Like, it's not necessarily content unless you're going to think about what you're going to be doing with it. So it's just funny that my initial thought when I started streaming was like, well, I'm going to be playing. I may as well be streaming. It's a different mindset completely.
Yeah, I mean that's how so many people do it. You know, I mean, I was the same. I was like, you know, I've got a webcam tick, I've got a microphone tick, I've got a game, let's do it. You know.
Yeah.
You know, if you can play a game and have fun, then that's great. But yeah, like you said,
that's good though, especially if you're starting. I guess like just being comfortable playing, talking on camera, and then you can focus on like, okay, what am I doing?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But having spoken to you quite a few times, obviously on your Twitch, Dead by Daylight was you did a lot of Dead by Daylight, didn't you? Sorry.
Yeah, I know you're still waiting for your recap, not to like trigger you or anything, your Twitch recap, because I saw your tweet, I think. The Simpsons meme.
Yes.
But I got my recap, and
Yes.
my number one play game of the year was Dead by Daylight, and I'm like, that kind of blows my mind a little bit. But then I'm like, well, I did do a few killer games here and there, and then every other game I play is like a horror story based game that I finish after a couple streams. So I guess Dead by Daylight is my most played game, even though I'm like, I never play it anymore.
Yeah. I mean, that's, if you don't mind me asking, can you go into why you stopped playing Dead by Daylight and you moved more towards the single player horror games?
Yeah, well, part of it was like taking a hard look at my content and being like, what am I doing here? Because there's so many Dead by Daylight streamers, and there's some really, really great Dead by Daylight streamers. But at the same time, like, what was I doing with the content? What was I doing that was fresh? What was I doing that would, you know, what I didn't even want to stick around for my content. You know what I mean? I would check the clock and being like, oh my God, I've only been streaming for 2 hours. It feels like 5 hours. And that's when you know, like, maybe you're not having fun with this game anymore. I think I just wasn't having fun with it. I'd been playing it like 3 years prior to streaming it. So I was very like well versed. I've seen all the changes, and it just got boring, like, for me. And I think, you know, you could play with friends, that's fine. But then, you know, if you're playing with friends on stream, then it's just sitting around on a generator for time. At least you can read chat. If you're playing killer, it's harder to read chat. But then also you're not playing like your fullest potential. So you've either got to decide, well, am I going to be like a really, really good Dead by Daylight player that people are going to want to watch? Or am I just going to focus on the community more and be more about community? And then the gameplay comes sort of second to that. And like, you can't really, I don't know. I was just like, okay, I just rethought everything. I'm like, what do I like? Whereas like, what can't I do? What is something I can get through together with people? I'm like, I can't play horror games. I am terrified of them. But when I stream them, it's a different feeling, right? Because it's more like a switched on thing. So, and I don't feel alone. But, you know, before I finished Alien Isolation on stream, I had 14 hours logged in like 2012 or 2014 or whenever it came out. What, like 15 minutes logged because I was too scared to play it. I was like, you know what, we're going to do this. And I think from that point, I was just kind of like, okay, throw it to me. Give me all the horrors. Like,
Yeah.
it's fun because I was getting really scared. I think people enjoy watching that stuff and they enjoy like interacting. And I was like, I guess this is sort of the direction I'm going in, at least for the time being. But part of me does feel like I need to change direction at some point as well. Do something more, add a little more. Because, you know, just to go like a little deeper on this one, especially like if for people that are streamers or stuff like that, but it's like, you know, a lot of people take it personally if like someone doesn't show up to a stream anymore, or they're like, oh, what did I do? Like maybe I offended them. But like a lot of streamers, because they're so open about like their life and stuff like that, some people tend to forget that they are like, you know, it is entertainment. And like entertainment has a lifespan too. Like every show has an end, except if you're The Simpsons. But like, you know, every show ends. Like over time, viewers drop off on shows because like they become less relevant, or like, you know, people just want something new. And so that's why I think it's important to keep evolving that content. And that's why, even though at the moment I am doing like those horror games, like you said, like who knows what that's going to evolve into. I don't want to just limit myself to doing that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's important. And yeah, I never take it personally. If I see like people not showing up anymore, I'm like, you know, that's fair. Like, I can't take that personally. I think if you took that personally, if everyone took that personally, it'd just destroy you as a person, because you'd be like, why don't they like me?
Yeah.
But you can't think like that.
It's like the whole thing that's coming out at the moment. You've probably seen it yourself, where Twitch have now introduced this unsubscribe reasoning thing.
Yeah.
I mean, people are...
I never give a reason, because like, I'm just like, I resub when I'm in the channel, or sometimes because I sub to so many people, it's really hard to keep up sometimes. I can't just have active like things going through. But it's like, if I cancel, it's like, that's fine. Next time I'm in the stream, I'll just like do it again. So then it's happening in real time. But I've checked mine, and like, I don't even think it's super accurate. Like some people are like, I just want to do it manually. I'm like, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Whenever I do it, I just go, I don't give a reason. I just like cancel. Like, I don't care. I don't care who needs to hear a reason for doing it.
Yeah.
It's just an extra step I have to click. But, excuse me. But, for me, there was one that was like this. There was one person that canceled that clicked. The streamer has changed schedule and doesn't stream as much as they used to or something. And I'm like, I have been streaming the same point for like all year at the same time. So like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Jeez.
That's when I'm like, people are just picking anything, honestly.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but it's funny you mentioned that about the whole manual thing, because again, that would be what I would possibly look at. I always gift subs with my streamers because I like to give, but also because it is a one-off purchase. At times, it is, again, with bank details and stuff like that. That's frustrating. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's weird when you think about it. Like, I get stressed about like just paying Netflix all the time, yet I'll have like hundreds of dollars of subscriptions go through and I like don't even blink an eye. So it's funny, like it's funny like that. I don't like having, because sometimes I get a notification, it's like successful, and I'm like, oh no, because the emails don't tell me who it resubs to either. So I'm like, who's this for?
Right. Yeah, it's so clunky, and it's not like it's the first of every month or anything like that either. It's literally you subscribed on the 17th, so it'll be the 17th of this month. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's not a sustainable way of paying bills, you know, and you know, paying subscribers.
It all comes off my credit card.
Shh. Okay, there we go.
But
yeah, no, it's yeah, they need to look at that for sure, I think. But
true.
Yeah. So you've kind of touched quite a few things already, but is there any summary of advice you'd give to people who are thinking about streaming? You've kind of touched bits of it, but can you summarize?
Well, I'd say Nike said it best, honestly. You know what I mean? Like, just do it. Like, just do it. Like, even if you want to, like, if you're playing a game, you're like, I may as well just stream, like, because I'm playing it. Like, I'd say just do it. Get comfortable being in front of the camera. Get comfortable playing in front of the camera. Like, I think if you can do that, and then when you want to start taking it a little more seriously, start thinking about like when you're going live in terms of like what you're going to do, have more than just you playing a game, make some content, try and plan some things ahead that you can use for other platforms. Like is there something you can do during 30 minutes during that stream that would make a great clickbait title on YouTube that could blow up and potentially make you more discoverable. Get your favorite clips out on like TikTok, but optimize the videos so like it works for each platform's SEO. Like, for example, YouTube, if YouTube takes into consideration the file name that you uploaded as part of the SEO. So make sure you make your YouTube title video like something like really relevant to what it is instead of just like Final 2. You know, TikTok, use the text-to-speech features because they're going to push that more than they're going to push something you just upload and hit send because you're using their features. Don't reuse your TikToks on Instagram because Instagram will detect the logo of TikTok and push it down because they don't want TikTok content on there. YouTube doesn't give a shit. They just want all the content. You can republish that TikTok to YouTube Shorts and they will love it. Other advice, just, you've really just got to become your own like community manager. You need to be on everything. You need to be on the Twitter and all that, because if you want to be a streamer full time, you can't stream 5 days a week and make a living from it. You need to become, if you're a streamer, you need to be a content creator, which means you need to be on multiple platforms creating content under that brand. And streaming ultimately should be like a supplementary thing. So like, it's like, this is what I do. This is the content that I make. Maybe I make it during streaming, but when I'm live, that's the supplementary content end game where like I can come to, or like, you know, if you want to do it full time, dedicate 3 days a week doing it and spend those other 2 days a week or 3 days a week making content from that content or making different content for other places, and put your shit on all the platforms. Because if you get banned on one platform and you're only on that platform, don't give a platform the power to just like cancel you out. You know what I mean? Like, if I get banned off YouTube off Twitch for whatever reason, and like, you know, sometimes it's not even like, you don't even know why, or it's a mistake, but you can never like fix it. At least I know I've got like a decent, like somewhat following on YouTube. I can be like, well, fuck it, I will just stream exclusively on YouTube now, and like I've built something there as a side to just on Twitch. So expand, don't put all your eggs in one basket, think about your content. And I guess the most important thing is like, be proud of what you're doing, because if you don't believe in what you're doing, then like, why would anyone care about it?
Yeah.
So I think, I don't know, I could talk for ages.
I was gonna say, yeah,
As you know.
I know. I really enjoyed your previous podcast about it. You've got a lot of ideas. I mean, speaking of ideas, one thing you did mention, if you don't mind me mentioning, is about the idea that you may be offering some kind of like mentor support for Twitch streamers. Would you mind elaborating on that, or is that maybe not
I've had
something
an
we should
idea
mention?
for like a little while now
Yeah.
that I wanted to like do like some kind of like mentor program for streamers, because like it can be quite isolating, and like smaller streamers can feel a bit intimidated going to bigger streamers. It like might feel a little bit like they, if there's a smaller streamer and they want to give them advice, but they don't want to seem like, well, maybe it's unsolicited advice. I don't want to like tell these people how to do their channel. And like maybe it's a good sort of like program or something that like people can say, hey, I really admire what you do. I'd love for you to just kind of like mentor me, or like a bigger streamer to be like, I see like a lot of potential in this person. Like they remind me of me when I was starting out. Like I'd love to just give them advice because I think they can really flourish. And I think the more people that just help each other do these things, like I don't believe in like gatekeeping stuff. Like everything I've learned in streaming, I've learned from like watching YouTube videos or watching like other people, or, learning about how to do something from another creator. And, if I learn how to do something, I'm not going to be there and be like, okay, well, my friends don't know this, but I'm going to use it and I'm going to get ahead of them. And like, it's not a competition.
Yeah.
I think as soon as you think like it's competition, like you're already in a bad headspace to be in a content creation game.
Yeah.
You just need to believe in your stuff. And I think a lot of people are worried, some people might not go live at the same time their friend is live, because they're like, oh, well, they're going to take the views, or, someone might get offended because like, what if everyone comes to my stream? But look, like it's competitive already, whether your friend's live or not. Like, and the viewers aren't just watching one stream. Viewers will have like 10 tabs up at once. So
Yes.
it's really not going to make a difference to whether, you're live or not during someone else. You're not going to lose viewers. And don't blame like things outside of, what am I trying to say? Don't blame things like people not showing up in your stream by other things outside of your control. Like if you think, well, this person was streaming and that's why these people didn't show up, and then you're like really sort of mad about that, or you're upset, like don't think like that. Just be like, okay, well, what can I do to make my content even better that is going to make people excited to want to show up? You know what I mean? That's a more healthy way to look at the situation, rather than being like angry about something, because you're just going to wallow and be like, oh, well, I'm not going to go live again because they're just not going to come. Like, well, give them a reason to come,
Yeah.
Your entertainment, no one's there to owe you their time.
Yes.
So I think that's the best sort of advice I could like say, at least in terms of like that. Like it's all mindset. That's why, I mean, whenever I'm live, I always try and like not push like a positive thing, but I'm always trying to keep in that positive mind frame, because like focusing on the negative stuff, I mean, it's okay to be negative about things. It's okay to be sad, but like dwelling on stuff that's outside your control, like why?
Yes.
Like just focus on what you can do.
Definitely. 100%. And that nicely actually brings me to my next question, really, which is about your streams, about the community feel that you bring to the streams. It's so powerful. Like in terms of genuinely.
Never heard it described like that.
Oh, it blows me away, mate. Like, I mean, the crazy thing is, right, and this is going out in maybe a few months' time, maybe February, but like I only discovered you about a month ago, maybe 6 weeks ago. But like in that time, I feel like I've known you for years. You have a really the community that you've brought together is a very powerful thing, and it's a very humbling experience, I'm sure, for yourself, really, to be able to, like you said, be the person that orchestrates that. So just tell us a bit about that. Tell us a bit about that.
I've been wanting to like grow a community for a while, but like never really done that before. Like I've worked in like community management at like jobs and stuff, but it's nice to be able to do it. Like it's nice to be able to do it not for like a corporation or not for like anything. It's nice to be able to do it as like a genuine community. It's surreal because like I've been doing this since June 2020, and like that's over a year now. That's basically a year and a half at this point.
Yeah.
It's been slow. Like, I think people don't realize how much time it takes to grow a community like that. Like, I also feel like maybe, last year, maybe I wasn't ready to have that kind of community either, because I was still like growing and learning too. And it was more just about me becoming more comfortable on camera, more open about my thoughts and ideas, that I think has sparked a lot more, like, people like yourself as well, coming in and just being so nice and welcoming to everybody. And that's essentially what I guess I want in the end, is just to have like a place where people can come, and it's just like, you're going to come in and it's going to be like a good time, and you're going to enjoy yourself, and it's a nice little pocket of the internet in a world of like toxic internet places where you just come and it doesn't matter what we're playing, like we hopefully have a good time. Sometimes I worry, sometimes I get my head in a bit, and I'm like, before I go live, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what if no one shows up? Like, not that it's like about the numbers or anything, but it's always like in the back of my head, like, when is it going to get to a point? Because at the moment we're on the up and up, which is nice and close to like a partnership and stuff like that. But then it's also like, when is the content going to become stale? When am I sort of going to have to take it to the next level? Which is fine, like, just keep evolving. But I feel like I'm going off topic at this point.
No. Very relevant.
For me, like, the community is just, what it's grown into is something that's sort of just outside of my control at this point. And every new person that comes in generally tends to say something really nice about the vibes, or about like the people in there. And if people are coming in and just like impressed with the people that are in there, or just like really like feel welcomed, then I know that like it's I'm doing what I want to be doing. And it's so weird because I've done so much. I think I mentioned this on stream, but I've done so much throughout like my life, where I've done like filmmaking, music videos, photography, broadcasting, all these different things in media, but I've always felt like when I was doing one job, like editing or writing or producing, I was missing out on doing the other aspect of it. And I was like, oh, I wish I could have done this. Whereas like, I think it shows in the community, like, I feel like streaming is the first thing I've ever done in my life where all my passions come together in one, and it feels like I'm just like doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So it's a good feeling. And then it's nice to have that validated back through the community.
Yes.
And like through people that are even like close to me, being like, you're just really natural at what you do. And that's the most important thing, is just the authenticity of it all. Like, it'd really suck if like you had like this really positive, like, I guess forced positivity is like a way to look at it. It's like, guys, we got to be positive, we got to do this. And it's just kind of like, they end stream and they're just like really toxic, like in games offline and stuff like that. It's just kind of, but I think people can see past that stuff. People can tell.
I think so.
We live in a world where the younger generation knows what an ad looks like. I try to tell this at my job. Maybe I shouldn't talk about this, but I always try and say this to like, because I work at a uni, and I always try and say like, look, it is important to have the big fancy ad that plays at the cinema that promotes the uni, but you got to realize that, kids these days, 17-year-olds that are leaving school, they see that and they're like, that's an ad. But that's the wrapper. But what's the actual chocolate? What is the treat like? What is the actual uni like? What is the culture like? What's it like going there?
Yep.
Cool ad that proves you're legitimate, but now but what does it actually taste like? And I think that's just the world that people grow up in now. So it's important to have like that. People can tell. I think that's the point I'm trying to make. People can tell authenticity or like what's not.
Yeah.
So
100%. And I think, again, going back to what you said before about your community, is that for me, the way I see things is you almost have like a duty, dare I say, to, and you have a small amount of control to influence what your community is like. And it's like your community that you have in your stream kind of reflects. It's like a mirror reflection of yourself, isn't it? And again, I only have the most amazing things to say about you and your community, and obviously our community. I'm part of it too. It's great. Yeah, man. Yeah.
And like it's yeah, I would say it's definitely, I think I've mentioned this before like on stream, but I'm like, I do feel like from what I've put out into the space and for like what I've put into what I've created is reflected back through the community. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes I think like people are too scared to say something nice about someone else if they think about it. But like, it's seriously just, it's so good for your mental health too.
Yeah.
If you see somebody and they're doing something great, like just tell them they're doing something great, or say that they, you know, they've been awesome, or like say it to somebody else. And even if they're not there, because like, if we can learn to just like recognize when someone's doing something great instead of holding it to ourselves,
Yeah.
it'll make their day. It'll make you feel good. Like there's literally no negative to it.
Yeah, totally.
You know what I mean?
Totally. I have one final question for you, because it's hit an hour. Would you believe? I haven't asked you it. What's your favorite game of all time, and why?
Oh my god. It's I don't think I can have a favorite game, but
No.
I'm trying to think. I want to say Left 4 Dead, but it's not like I ever play Left 4 Dead anymore. You know what I mean? I would say Resident Evil 2 was like one of the first games that I ever beat on PlayStation, like finished.
Yeah.
Which was insane for me because I'd never been able to do that. But here's the thing, like I love the Resident Evil games, but I would never call myself like a Resident Evil fanboy, you know what I mean? But like if a new Resident Evil game came out, I'm like keen for it. But I'm not sitting there like talking about like the intricacies of Leon's backstory. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't go into detail on that. Nemesis comes out on DVD, I'm playing Nemesis, but like also I'm not attached to it. I feel like I'm not really attached to anything in the gaming wise. I'm trying so hard to think. Favorite game. Oh my god.
Such a tough question.
I think because games are just like, I was gonna say like movies, but I mean I could easily say like favorite movies, but games is harder. Games has a lot more attached to it than a movie, and a game's never finishing in terms of like you can always pick it up and go again and it's a different experience.
Yes.
Whereas a movie is the one thing, start to finish, you can't change anything. But a game just is just a piece of media that can be whatever you want it to be. So I think in that aspect it's so hard to pick a favorite game. I mean, I think in terms of just like blowing my mind in what a game could be, I want to say like Metal Gear Solid on PlayStation. Because I remember playing that and just thinking it's like a movie. And like it's incredible and it's long, and like you have to do so many bizarre things, like change the memory card so he can't read your moves, or change the controller, sorry, so he can't read the moves, and like do different things. It just changed. I think the breaking of the fourth wall really changed like it changed. Yeah, I'm gonna say Metal Gear Solid is probably like my favorite game.
Yeah.
Even though like I haven't played it in so long, but damn, what a good game. What a game changer. I'm gonna go with Metal Gear Solid, and I was very obsessed with like Solid Snake back in the day, to the point my email username was Solid Jake.
Hey,
so
excellent.
Let's just go with that. Jurassic Park games, there's not really any good ones, so let's not bother.
Brilliant. LonelyShark, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you. I hope you've had fun.
Thank you.
One final time, would you like to just tell us again who you are and where we can find you?
Oh, LonelySharkMelb, you can find me on Twitch at LonelySharkMelb. Twitch.tv/LonelySharkMelb. You can find me on TikTok. You can find me on... Let's not do Instagram. That platform's dying anyway. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on TikTok. You can find me on all the places, really. But yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, man. It's been brilliant. Alrighty. That's it. So thanks so much, everyone. I'll see you for the next one. Take care. Bye.